As I happened to pass by, I found Pien with the blade of his elder sister's sword pressed against his throat. The tip of the sword pierced his fair skin, and droplets of crimson blood began to emerge. Pien hung his head, submitting to his sister's will. Frowning, I was about to intervene when a multitude of words suddenly materialized before my eyes. Ugh, the female antagonist is at it again. Every time the relationship between the female lead and the little wolf cub begins to deepen, she always barges in. How presumptuous of her. She fancies herself the savior of the little wolf cub, but in truth, she is nothing more than a self-righteous saint. If it weren't for her meddling, our little wolf would have already ascended to greatness. Thus, it's only fitting that she ultimately marries the little wolf cub, only to suffer torment until her demise, while our female lead finds solace in the embrace of the healing male protagonist, cherished for all eternity. My leg, which was just about to take a step forward, abruptly froze in place. Zhu turned back to me, a look of confusion in her eyes, softly inquiring, "Miss, what is the matter?" It was then that I realized the words floating before me were visible only to my eyes, continuously scrolling. Why has the female antagonist suddenly stopped? Has she come to her senses and decided not to interfere between the heroine and the young wolf dog?
Impossible.
The female antagonist is surely plotting something malicious. If I was not mistaken, the female antagonist referred to me. The heroine was my legitimate sister Jiang Yuyao, and the young wolf dog was the guard Pien, whom I had rescued from my sister's clutches a few days prior. Pien harbors feelings for Jiang Yuyao? Such absurdity. Who could possibly have affection for someone who nearly brought them to death? Not long ago, Pien had been publicly punished by Jiang Yuyao for a minor transgression, and had I not arrived in time, he would have likely met his demise. It was already unreasonable that Pien did not express gratitude towards me, but to think that he would torment me for it was utterly inconceivable. Choosing to disregard the commotion, I continued to stride forward. As I approached, I heard Jiang Yuyao's cold voice ring out, "Why do you not evade?" Indeed, why does Pien not evade? The injuries he suffered had long been healed by me. If he wished, Jiang Yuyao's blade could not touch him in the slightest. The handsome youth kept his head bowed, his voice trembling slightly. "Whatever the eldest lady desires, I am willing to comply." Pien's response shocked not only me, but also Jiang Yuyao. Her hand holding the sword trembled slightly, the blade leaving several scratches on Pien's collarbone. He winced in pain, emitting a muffled groan, a hint of lingering affection evident in his tone. Both Zhu and I shuddered slightly. I was uncertain who had stepped on a dry branch, startling the two. Who? Jiang Yuyao instinctively pointed her sword at Zhu and me. I saw it. It was the maid beside the female antagonist who stepped on the branch. I knew the female antagonist wouldn't simply let this go. But isn't she deaf? Didn't she hear the young wolf dog say he would comply with whatever the eldest lady does? Exactly. How can the female antagonist not see that the young wolf dog is secretly reveling in this? No wonder he ultimately wishes to torment her. The words I read made my lips twitch in irritation. Over there, Jiang Yuyao had already sneered, so it was my sister. "What is it? I injured your guard. And you plan to go report to the Song family?" I ignored her, fixing my gaze intently on Pien. "You stand idly by while your master is threatened by another sword?" Before Pien could act, Jiang Yuyao's eyes reddened. "Is it not enough that my sister has taken my guard? Does she now wish for him to slay me?" Woo-woo, the heroine is crying again. Can the female antagonist not just die? Do not mind her. The female antagonist is digging her own grave. Everything she does to the heroine will be repaid by the young wolf dog. I instinctively looked towards Pien. Even now, I found it hard to believe the authenticity of those words, until I beheld the way Pien's eyes were fervently fixed on Jiang Yuyao, filled with an unshakable affection. Very well. Perhaps I was indeed blind. Wishing to avoid further entanglement, I turned to leave with Zhu. Unexpectedly, a gust of wind swept past, and a shadow loomed before me. Pien glared at me, his expression cold. "Where do you intend to go?" The eldest lady was merely jesting with me. "There is no need for you to report this to the mistress. The young wolf dog still cannot bear to see our heroine suffer. Why is such a fine young wolf dog merely a supporting character?"
Ha, Pien.
I chuckled lightly. "You truly overestimate your own significance." The boy's face paled. His thin lips instinctively pressed together. I could not be bothered with him, elegantly sidestepping as I walked past. My earlier act of saving him had merely been a repayment for the kindness he had shown me in our youth. With that debt settled, Pien and I were even. If he wished to endure Jiang Yuyao's torment, I would not meddle in his affairs. 2. After that day, Pei Xian did not appear before me for many days. In an unusual turn of events, I refrained from mentioning him again. While Zhu Er styled my hair, she cautiously broached the subject. "Miss, should we send someone to inquire about guard Pei?" The girl in the bronze mirror, with skin as smooth as cream and eyes like polished ebony, smiled faintly. "No need." I was aware that Zhu Er found my reaction peculiar, as I had always shown concern for Pei Xian. A while ago, when he was injured, I personally prepared his medicine, inquiring about his condition thrice daily, without growing weary. When Pei Xian was finally able to rise from his bed, I arranged for the kitchen maids to prepare nourishing bone broth for him. Eat what is beneficial. I fear he may be left with a disability. Because of this, the entire Jianjia courtyard treated Pei Xian with newfound respect. Some even speculated that Pei Xian's future was boundless, perhaps even marrying into the duke's residence. Such conjectures were utterly laughable. I, the legitimate daughter of the duke's family, could never marry a mere guard. However, in light of those words, I instructed Zhu Er to retrieve Pei Xian's contract of servitude. I would send it to Qinghe Courtyard later. Qinghe Courtyard was where Jiang Yuyao resided. By returning Pei Xian to Jiang Yuyao, surely he would no longer harbor resentment towards me. What does the female antagonist mean? Does she no longer want the young wolf dog? Upstairs. This is called playing hard to get. Learn from our heroine. Remember, you are merely a supporting character, even if you were to take your own life. The young wolf dog would not grieve for you. I could not care less if he felt pity for me. I rolled my eyes at those words, rising to head towards the small kitchen. 3. In the Wudong courtyard, my mother reclined on a soft couch, perusing an art book. The weariness on her face was evident, even beneath her delicate makeup. "Mother, you should take a rest. Please try the soup I have prepared for you." I approached, gesturing for Zhu Er to unveil the soup bowl. The fragrant aroma instantly enveloped the entire chamber. "Mother, you must take care of your health. Otherwise, when father returns, he will surely worry." At the mention of father, a faint smile graced my mother's lips. "You child, always teasing me." My mother was my father's second wife, and she had long been deeply devoted to him. Consequently, she had always doted on Jiang Yuyao, my father's daughter by blood. Yet, regardless of my mother's efforts, Jiang Yuyao harbored a profound hatred for her, loathing her to the core. When my mother encouraged her to learn needlework, she would pierce her own fingers with the needle, weeping about the mistreatment she received from her stepmother. At lavish banquets held by the noble family, my mother, concerned for her safety, would send someone to protect her, only for Jiang Yuyao to claim she was living under her stepmother's watchful eye, deprived of freedom. Recently, over trivial matters, she ordered the guards of the courtyard to be punished. 50 strokes were meted out. Had I not arrived in time, Pei Xian would likely have lost his life. When I confronted Jiang Yuyao, she forbade me from taking him away for medical treatment. I had to seek my mother's intervention. This was the first time my mother had been enraged. How can you, a young lady of the inner chambers, be so ruthless? If this were to spread, who would dare to marry you in the future? Today, I shall discipline you on behalf of your father. You are to stay in Qinghe Courtyard and reflect on your actions. Jiang Yuyao's eyes turned red with fury. On what grounds do you control me? You are merely a stepmother. How can you dictate my actions? So your usual decorum is merely a facade. Father has only been away for a short while, and you reveal your true nature. Her words enraged my mother, yet she ultimately sealed off Qinghe Courtyard, allowing Jiang Yuyao to wreak havoc within. A month later, Jiang Yuyao emerged, her face filled with resentment, vowing to make my mother regret her actions. She frantically attended banquets, lamenting her mistreatment by her stepmother. In no time, my mother earned the notorious reputation of being a vicious stepmother. Some ladies, unaware of the truth, even hinted to my mother to be magnanimous. Now, while Jiang Yuyao thrived, my mother languished in ill health. I had just intended to counsel my mother to adopt a more open-minded perspective when my gaze fell upon the art album she had placed nearby. The pages were filled with depictions of the dashing young nobles of the capital. "What is this?" my mother inquired after sipping a few spoonfuls of soup, her voice softening. "I am contemplating arranging a marriage for your sister, that child, alas." "Are you suggesting a match for Jiang Yuyao?" I opened my mouth to voice my thoughts, yet found myself captivated by the words before me. Wow. The male lead is about to make his entrance. Although he is the nephew of the female antagonist, he bestows upon the heroine a love that is truly unparalleled. At long last, our heroine has found affection. My dear Bauer shall no longer be alone. Regrettably, their relationship begins with a marriage of convenience, leading to some initial heartache. I do hope this segment can be omitted. I inhaled sharply, forcibly suppressing the words that surged to the tip of my tongue. Which young master has captured your interest? I inquired, my tone laced with a barely perceptible urgency. I thought to myself that this was the ideal opportunity to ascertain the veracity of these words. It is your cousin from the Shen family. My mother had a sister who shared her womb, yet fate dealt her a cruel hand, taking her from this world far too soon, leaving behind a solitary son.
Shen Jean.
Your sister's rebelliousness in marrying another gives me pause. Jean is handsome and gentle, excelling academically. I would feel at ease if your sister were to marry him. Everything aligned perfectly. As I gazed at the inky black text, an involuntary shiver coursed through me. Could it be that these words truly held the power to foresee the future? Mother, let us postpone your sister's marriage until father returns. According to these writings, Jiang Yuyao is the heroine of this world. It would be prudent for both my mother and me to refrain from meddling in her affairs. On my way home, a heavy cloud of anxiety enveloped me. My mind was consumed with the determination to distance myself from these two harbingers of misfortune. Yet sometimes, what we dread most comes to pass. At the entrance of the Jianjia courtyard, a throng of people loomed ominously. Jiang Yuyao awaited at the threshold, surrounded by maids and matrons, some fanning themselves while others kneaded their legs. Upon seeing me approach, she languidly rose, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Oh, sister, where have you returned from? Before I could respond, her chief maid, Chun Yi, stepped forward, her demeanor haughty. We have returned your second young lady, merely asking you to show some grace and refrain from causing trouble for our miss with the madam. Following this, a thin piece of paper fell directly at my feet. It was Pei Xian's indenture. Only then did I notice a youth kneeling in a shadowy corner. Whoa, the heroine truly suffers. At this moment, she still cares for the little wolf dog, yet she is overwhelmed by the female antagonist's interference. The little wolf dog's heart must be bleeding, harboring even more resentment towards the antagonist. Was I the one who commanded him to kneel? How could this possibly be attributed to me? I then observed Pei Xian, his eyes brimming with intense hatred. He truly blames me. Everyone seems to have lost their senses. I regarded Jiang Yuyao, speaking each word with deliberate clarity. A few days prior, I had summoned my mother, fearing that a life might be lost in this turmoil. Yet upon reflection, he was merely a guard. Even if my sister were to inadvertently harm him, it would not be of great consequence. Please rest assured, sister, I shall not obstruct your actions in the future, nor will I report to mother. Thus, you may take this person back. I have already saved Pei Xian once. What becomes of him henceforth is no longer my concern. Oh, heroine, do not fall for her deceitful words. The antagonist's speech is as empty as the wind. Heed it only if you wish to be a fool. Her words are more melodious than a song, yet her wolfish ambitions cannot escape our scrutiny. A cold smirk escaped Jiang Yuyao's lips. Your words are indeed more pleasant than song. However, the Qinghe courtyard is not a place one can come and go as they please. Since Pei Xian has chosen to stay with you, he shall not be returning. With that, the group departed in a grand procession. It was quite clear that his original master had forsaken him. He could no longer lay blame at my feet. I ignored the kneeling youth and prepared to leave. Second Mississippi, Pei Xian's voice called out softly behind me, hoarse and pleading. I beg you, Second Miss, do not let me leave the Jiang residence.
Ah.
My steadfast little wolf dog. The antagonist truly has no shame, snatching him from the heroine only to discard him so easily. The little wolf dog has forsaken his pride just to remain by the heroine's side. It brings me to tears. I did not pause. Stepping directly over Pei Xian's indenture, Pei Xian knelt outside the Jianjia courtyard for an entire night. A heavy storm raged last night, and the maids who rose early stumbled upon the youth, unconscious and unresponsive, in the courtyard, causing them to gasp in shock. When Zhuo reported this to me, I could only sigh in resignation. This pestilence of a man could not be rid of so easily. Alas, he is, after all, a benefactor I have saved. I cannot simply watch him perish. Let him remain in the original guest room for now, and I shall summon a physician to attend to him. Once he is well, he can be sent away at a later time. In the blooming month of March, my father returned from the south. Jiang Yuyao hurriedly ran to him to lament her grievances. This time, my father did not show her favoritism. Rather, he spoke to her with earnest concern. Yaoer, your mother only wishes for your well-being. Should you accidentally harm someone over trivial matters, the world will only label you as cruel. You have now reached the age for marriage. Such a reputation will deter any suitor from approaching you. This fatherly affection, however, was perceived by Jiang Yuyao as a sign of a stepfather's intervention. Her gaze turned cold, and she fell silent. That very day, several maids from Qinghe courtyard emerged in tears, each bearing visible signs of distress. The words that supported Jiang Yuyao began to circulate once more frenzied than ever. "Oh, my heroine, how pitiable. Your mother is long gone, and now even your father shows you no love. The only warmth in the Jiang residence, your little wolf dog, has been taken away by the antagonist. How shall our heroine endure this long, lonely night? I wish I could leap into the story and embrace my dear. My darling, you truly suffer too much." In the vast Jiang residence, there exists no refuge for our heroine. The antagonist and her saintly mother are the true culprits behind it all. Is Jiang Yuyao truly pitiable? What of those innocent maids who bear the brunt of her fury? Are they merely unfortunate? The antagonist is indeed cruel. She seeks to take everything our heroine possesses, one by one.
Ah,
I cannot bear to watch. When will the little wolf dog finally torment the antagonist? Of all that has been said, only this last sentiment piqued my concern. I fixated on the swirling words, desperate to discern how Pien would torment me. To my dismay, the subsequent phrases were filled with sympathy for Jiang Yuyao. Alas, my eyes have been needlessly afflicted once more. After much contemplation, I concluded that I could not remain passive. Thus, I summoned Pien to me. This time, he was surprisingly compliant. Having recovered from his illness, he chose to remain in the Jianjia courtyard and refrained from wandering. "Little Pei, how do you perceive my treatment of you?" I inquired with a smile, extending kindness to one who had been so ungracious in the past. My courtesy should deter any further thoughts of tormenting me. Pien appeared significantly thinner than before. Hearing my question, his vacant gaze flickered. After a lengthy pause, he finally murmured, "The second miss has been very kind to me." How reluctant he seemed to say it. I felt exasperated within, yet my outward demeanor remained amiable. "I can be even kinder to you." As expected, the words that berated me resurfaced. I knew the antagonist could not remain quiet for long. What a desperate woman she is, but our little wolf dog is a devoted admirer of the heroine. Her efforts are in vain. I understood what a little wolf dog was, but what was a licking dog? Never mind, it was of little consequence. I continued to coax Pien. "I know you wish to return to your legitimate sister. Fear not, I shall facilitate that for you." I aimed to provide Pien with a sense of reassurance, calming his restless heart. In Pien's eyes, a flicker of struggle appeared, only to vanish in an instant. "Since the second young lady saved me, she has become my master. I shall devote my entire life to her. So I beseech you, my lady, to refrain from suggesting my return." I was utterly astonished, and the rolling words echoed my shock. "Is Pien unwell? It serves him right for not being the male lead. What a pity I just called him the loyal dog of the female lead, yet here he is, fickle in his affections. No, can you not apply some reasoning? Did you not see the burden of humiliation in the little wolf dog's eyes? He merely desires to stay by the female supporting character to monitor her, fearing for the female lead's safety. You all know how treacherous the supporting female character can be. Can this be blamed on me? No matter. I shall make Pien and these words aware of the truth. I am serious about sending him back to Jiangyuan. Before summoning Pien, I had already devised a plan. In just 2 days, the Grand Temple Fair of March 3rd will commence. Jiangyuan has a penchant for revelry, so I shall hire a few individuals to stage a performance. Then, let Pien swoop in for a heroic rescue, and everything will unfold as intended. As anticipated, events progressed smoothly. When Jiang Yuyuan tried on a mask at a stall, a group of rascals approached her with flirtations. Just as one of them laid a hand on her sleeve, a shadow lunged forward. I exhaled deeply, ready to retreat once my mission was accomplished. Suddenly, my body was airborne. The sensation of weightlessness struck fear within me, and my voice trembled. "Why you? Who are you?" The man carrying me barked fiercely. "Shut up. Speak again, and I will end you. Do you know who I am? I do not care who you are. If you utter another word, I will truly end you." Amidst the tumult, the words swayed back and forth. "Ha, it's the female supporting character's comeuppance. She deserves it. But the female lead's actions a bit excessive? A young lady from a noble family being abducted surely cannot survive. Those above, step aside. Have you forgotten what the supporting character has done?" "Exactly. Truly a rare sight to witness empathy for a malicious supporting character." I understood. Perhaps there was a hidden design in the universe. Both Jiang Yuyuan and I chose to act today. My motive was to fulfill Pien, yet Jiang Yuyuan intended to bring about my demise. I closed my eyes, finding a strange calmness. I know who sent you. If you dare. The man haltingly adjusted his grip. Damn it, I am speaking to you. The strength that held me vanished suddenly. Before I could struggle, I fell into a warm embrace. The cool scent of plum blossoms lingered at my nose, bringing a sense of tranquility.
Who are you?
Cousin, are you unharmed? A voice as clear as spring water rang out, stunning me for a moment. Almost simultaneously, words surged forth uncontrollably. What the hell? How did the male lead end up holding the female supporting character? The supporting character is truly insufferable. Any man associated with the female lead is subject to her grasp. Author, I am sending you a blade. Female supporting character. Swiftly remove your disgusting little hands. Who allowed you to touch our male lead's waist? I had long been aware that these words lacked discernment, blindly favoring Jiang Yuyuan. Yet, on occasion, I felt a pang of sorrow. After all, I was the true victim. In an instant, a wave of grievance surged within me. The next moment, my hand inadvertently grazed the man's muscular chest. My head spun. The man's body stiffened, his gentle breath brushing against my face, tickling me.
Oh.
If they do not allow me peace, I shall not grant them respite either. Perhaps my smile was too conspicuous. Cousin, what are you laughing at? I tilted my head, colliding with a pair of concerned eyes. Shun Jin's brows furrowed, yet his tone remained gentle. But where have you been hurt? Only then did I realize how intimately we were positioned. Ahem, no, nothing, I just felt a bit dizzy. Cousin, please set me down. Shun Jin's expression darkened, and he finally released me. The man in black remained sprawled nearby, and Shin Jin bound his hands with a ribbon before inquiring, "What are your intentions? Is the female supporting character planning to turn this man in? The female lead is in danger. Male lead, do not meddle in this matter. Male lead, the one you save now is the rival of the woman you love. You will regret it later." Nevertheless, Shun Jin had rescued me. Moreover, given the current circumstances, I could not report the incident, for the rumor of the second young lady of the Duke's residence being abducted would spread throughout the capital. No one cares for the truth. People only seek to satisfy their own idle lives with speculation. Cousin, let us treat tonight's events as if they never occurred. Before I could finish my statement, I was interrupted by a wail. Damn it, who tied me up? Untie me at once, or you'll regret it. Shin Jin adjusted his sleeves, his tone devoid of emotion. Wait a moment. I will send you back shortly. With that, he tugged at the ribbon and moved aside. Shortly after, the man's screams echoed through the air. Shun Jin's moon-white robe became stained with blood, causing him to frown slightly. Truly unfortunate. When we were but a short distance from the Duke's residence, I halted. Cousin, you may stop here. Regarding tonight's events, I was about to express my gratitude when Shin Jin interrupted me. You were not like this as a child. Why have you grown distant? Let us return. I nodded, but I kept this gratitude nestled in my heart. The residence was ablaze with light. Upon my return, everyone scattered as if they had seen a ghost. Before long, my mother emerged, surrounded by a throng of concerned faces. Ignoring propriety, she pulled me into her embrace tightly. Yuyen, you frightened your mother to death. Your sister claimed you had been abducted. I wanted to report it but feared for your reputation, so I dared only to send someone to search. Tears glistened on her cheeks, and her silent sobs echoed in my heart. I gently patted her back, waiting for her to regain her composure before softly speaking. Sister said I was abducted? My mother still appeared anxious. Yes, I nearly fainted upon hearing it. I consoled her, a deep smile gracing my lips. Now that I had returned, I must assure my sister of my safety. Otherwise, would she not lose sleep over it? I spoke the last few words lightly. In the Qinghe courtyard, Jiang Yuyuan sat upon a jade couch, engrossed in a book, while Chun Yi fanned beside her. My loyal guard, Pei Xian, knelt beside Jiang Yuyuan's couch, diligently massaging her legs. With each stroke, he was focused and earnest, his brows occasionally lifting with utmost tenderness. Our little wolf dog has finally touched the female lead's jade legs once more. Oh, the little wolf dog must be feeling ecstatic inside. Wait, look. The supporting character is back to wreak havoc. Little wolf dog, hurry up and confront her. The first to notice me was Jiang Yuyuan. Her demeanor shifted to one of panic, shock evident upon her face. In her fluster, she abruptly straightened, causing Pien, who had been massaging her legs,
to be kicked away.
Pien let out a soft grunt before promptly kneeling again before the couch. Observing his obsequious posture, I regretted for the first time saving him. Perhaps being beaten to death by Jiang Yuyuan was what he truly desired. I did not look at Jiang Yuyuan, instead fixing my gaze firmly on the boy kneeling there. Pien, do you remember what you said a few days ago at the Jinjia courtyard? Upon hearing my voice, Pien raised his head in disbelief, a glimmer of panic crossing his eyes. With just a single glance, I was certain that Pien was aware of tonight's plan. How delightful it is that I have gone to such great lengths to rescue an enemy. Pien lowered his head slightly, unable to meet my gaze. What to do? Your bond still lies within my grasp. How about this? If my sister requests you, I shall return you to her. What do you say? Jiang Yuyao, this is your final opportunity. Ultimately, Pien followed me back to the Jinjia courtyard. However, this time, he was devoid of his previous luck. Having been startled tonight, I entrusted the task of keeping watch to the ever-diligent Pei guard outside. It is within the duties of the guard to stand vigil. Pien pressed his lips together and acknowledged with a soft yes. Yet, when Zhuer presented him with the iron chain meant for restraining the wolf dog, Pien's expression abruptly shifted. Second miss, what do you mean by this? I smiled. Why is the esteemed guard so shocked? Is this not how you keep watch for my sister? The only difference is that she locks you at the head of the bed, while I shall secure you outside the door. Pien clenched his fists, veins throbbing on his forehead, his visage marked by humiliation. Ah, how fitting. Of course. This is not a command that must be obeyed. Should the esteemed guard find it too difficult, he may return to Qinghe courtyard without a second thought from me. I am wagering that Pien will acquiesce to all my demands. After all, only by remaining by my side can he collaborate with Jiang Yuyao. Indeed. Despite the look of disgrace etched on his face, Pien gritted his teeth and complied. Zhuer and several maids swiftly secured Pien. The iron chain was short, forcing the restrained Pien to crouch rather than stand. From a distance, he resembled the little wolf dog described in the texts. Is the female antagonist out of her mind, subjecting our little wolf dog to such humiliation? Is she trying to emulate our beloved heroine? There are certain things the heroine can do that you, as a mere antagonist, cannot. No matter, the more she does this, the more the little wolf dog will yearn for our heroine, and she shall not steal him away from her. Suppressing my revulsion, I approached Pien, gently ruffling his hair, my tone sweet. Good boy. Pien tilted his head slightly, for the first time openly displaying his disdain for me. But who cares? I wiped my hands and returned to my chamber, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Perhaps with a plan in mind, I no longer felt anxious and enjoyed a sound sleep.
Soon the early summer arrived.
My mother hosted a lotus viewing banquet at the estate, inviting numerous ladies and several young gentlemen to join in the revelry. The banquet for the lotus flowers was merely a pretext. The true purpose was to introduce Jiang Yuyao to potential suitors. Yesterday in the study, I overheard my father's words. Shiyi, I have read Shinjin's writings. They are grand and magnificent, certainly not to be dismissed lightly. Yaoer can be willful at times, and it is commendable that you consider her well-being. My father took my mother's hand, tenderly patting it. He is well aware of how Jiang Yuyao has tested my mother over the years. Yet, even a righteous official struggles to resolve family matters. Despite his prominence in the political arena, there are times when he finds himself at a loss. I felt gratified that my father understood my mother's goodness, but a sense of indescribable frustration welled up within me. Does Jiang Yuyao truly deserve Shinjin? When I realized what I was thinking, I shook my head vigorously. Jiang Yuyan, adhere to propriety and do not harbor vain hopes. To facilitate Jiang Yuyao's introductions, my mother arranged for the seating to be mixed, with men and women dining together. With numerous elders present, it was not deemed improper. During the feast, my mother discreetly conveyed a few words to Jiang Yuyao. Instantly, Jiang Yuyao's complexion darkened, and she slammed her teacup down, attracting many curious glances. The misunderstanding between the leads begins now. The male lead will think the female lead despises him, leading to his coldness after marriage. Oh dear, the female lead does not hate the male lead. She merely harbors disdain for the antagonist's family. It is unfortunate that the male lead is the antagonist's cousin.
Sigh.
Regardless of the circumstances, all blame will fall upon me. I rolled my eyes in exasperation. What is wrong with the antagonist's eyes? Is she having a fit? What else could it be? She's envious. Have you not noticed how many young gentlemen are secretly watching our heroine at this lotus banquet? Oh, look, the male lead is looking over. Why do I feel like the male lead is staring at the antagonist? Shin Jin, is he looking at me? I instinctively glanced toward the male guest table, only to meet his smiling gaze.
Fool.
Is he so pleased at the prospect of marrying Jiang Yuya? In that instant, the pang of bitterness I had buried deep within me surged forth. I averted my gaze, silently sipping my floral tea. The music flowed smoothly, but I found myself unable to appreciate it. At that moment, Zhuer leaned in close, whispering, "Miss, the guard Pei is insisting on seeing you." So, he has indeed come. I raised my head and surveyed the surroundings. Cups clinked, shadows intertwined. It was the perfect moment for a schemer. Very well, the situation has come to this. Just as I prepared to rise and leave the table, Jiang Yuyao turned her gaze toward me. "Sister, where are you going?" she inquired, prompting the surrounding ladies to look on as well. I offered a slight smile, just handling a personal matter. As I traversed the corridor, the Jianjia courtyard came into view. "Is everything prepared?" Zhuer's eyes gleamed with determination as she nodded. "Rest assured, miss, all arrangements have been meticulously made." I truly did not expect him to act so treacherously after your kindness. I smiled indifferently. There are too many ungrateful souls in this world.
Now.
You should go prepare as well. Today's plan must be flawless. No way, I just looked away for a moment, and now I can't understand anything? What kind of mischief is the antagonist up to now? I'm worried about our heroine. Isn't today the day the antagonist is forced to marry the little wolf dog? Yet, something feels off. I'm so worried about our heroine. Let us gather support against the antagonist. You ill-informed scribes think you deserve merit? Who would covet your so-called little wolf dog from Jiang Yuyao? Spare me the disgust. I am the legitimate daughter of a duke, of esteemed status, with countless noblemen waiting to marry me. Why would I consider him? I suspect you all have spent too much time engrossed in your novels. Take my advice. Instead of wasting your time here, go seek a physician for your minds. After enduring for so many days, I can finally speak my mind. For a fleeting moment, the words fell silent before surging back in a frenzy. Wait, can the antagonist see what we're saying? She's scolding us? But was it not you who first tried to snatch the male lead from our heroine? Why not just admit it? And if you claim to dislike the little wolf dog, why vie for him against the heroine? How hypocritical. A bunch of obstinate fools. Could these ignorant words please vanish from my sight? I truly wish to cease seeing them. They are a scourge upon my eyes. Perhaps some divine entity heard my prayer. In the next moment, those words froze in place and then shattered completely. The world finally fell silent. Recently, rumors regarding the Duke's residence have been rampant in the capital. Have you heard? The eldest daughter of the Duke's household has caught the eye of a guard. She is indeed the eldest daughter. Who wouldn't be intrigued? But, honestly, this guard must be a bit daft. If it were you, would you dare? What kind of courage is that? I hear he was severely punished by the Duke, hanging from the door beam for 3 whole days before finally succumbing.
Pien is dead.
That day, Jiang Yuyao, accompanied by a throng of young ladies, came to the Jianjia courtyard to seek me, claiming that the grand lotus in the back mountain had bloomed, wishing to invite me to admire it together. As she passed by the west chamber, she was unexpectedly greeted by the scandalous sounds of breathy gasps, causing her cheeks to flush with embarrassment. A group of young ladies stood there, visibly shaken. It is best not to witness such impropriety, one suggested, proposing they depart from the scene. However, Jiang Yuyao would not permit it. With a resolute flourish of her sleeves, she declared, "How can we leave when such shameless individuals lurk in my sister's courtyard? If we abandon this place, who will vindicate my sister's honor?" While the other young ladies pondered her words, Jiang Yuyao boldly kicked open the door. Surprisingly, the loud commotion failed to disturb those engaged in their illicit activities within. The tantalizing moans continued unabated, leaving the ladies blushing furiously, with some unable to resist their curiosity, craning their necks to peer inside. Standing at the threshold, Jiang Yuyao wore an expression of profound dismay. "Yuan, how could you be so foolish?" she lamented. Miss Xu, the daughter of the Minister of Revenue, gasped in astonishment. "Yao, you must look." Jiang Yuyao feigned reluctance, but was compelled to glance in. One look rendered her momentarily dizzy, her legs unsteady. Inside, a youth stood bare, a sheen of sweat glistening on his pale back. He held a scroll in his hands, writhing beneath it like a fish gasping for air. Consumed by a chaotic desire, he yearned, "Yuyao, Yuyao, please, I beg you, Hurt me, for I am in such distress. Save me." As he spoke, he leaned in to kiss the woman depicted in the scroll, who, strikingly, resembled the illustrious Jiang Yuyao, the famed beauty of the Duke's residence. On the day of the incident, her father had been in a furious rage. Just moments after securing an engagement with the Shen family, scandalous rumors regarding Jiang Yuyao began to circulate throughout the capital. Faced with such disgrace, how could he possibly marry his daughter to Shinjin? Upon awakening, Jiang Yuyao wept, claiming she had been wronged. For the first time, her father looked at her with disappointment. "I have dispatched someone to investigate." Pien used an aphrodisiac. "Would you like to know who provided it?" Jiang Yuyao, tears still staining her cheeks, responded through sobs. "Father, just speak plainly. What do you mean by such vague insinuations?" "Rebellious daughter. My reticence is merely to spare your dignity," he retorted, his gaze landing on Chuani, who trembled and fell to her knees. Jiang Yuyao's plan had been deceptively simple. She had instructed Pien to lure me, and once he had me subdued, he would administer the aphrodisiac. I was meant to be wed to Pien in such a manner. Alas, I had taken precautions, keeping watch over them. Pien's attempt to drug me backfired, leading to this farcical situation. In the end, Chuani was sold off, and Jiang Yuyao was confined by her father. Following that day, her mother fell ill. The stepmother, who had once been so affectionate, seemed intent on ruining her own daughter. Even the warmest heart can eventually grow cold. I visited daily, harboring a tinge of resentment towards myself for being too impetuous, disregarding my mother's feelings. One day, my mother appeared to be recovering and invited me to share a meal. "Yuyan, what do you think of your cousin Shen?" The sound of my jade chopsticks clattering to the ground startled me, and I hurriedly dabbed my mouth with a handkerchief to mask my inner turmoil. "Alas, your father has already arranged the engagement with the Shen family, and some guests are aware of it. Given these circumstances, it would be inappropriate for your sister to marry into their family now. If this stirs discontent towards the Shen family, both your father and I would feel remorse. Moreover, your sister harbors a deep resentment toward us and is most unwilling to proceed with the marriage." I listened silently, my handkerchief tightly clenched in my fist.
"So,
what does my mother intend?" A smile graced my mother's lips. "This matter I must share with you. Your father and I had intended to let this incident fade into obscurity, as if we had wronged the Shen family. We would bear any ensuing gossip ourselves. But who would have thought your cousin would also be unwilling?" My heart, which had momentarily soared, now sank, and I heard my own muffled voice. "I never imagined my cousin cherished my elder sister so." As soon as I spoke, my mother laughed. "Oh, dear. It is my fault as a mother for being so careless. I failed to notice the bond between you and Jeaner. Silly child. Jeaner's reluctance to let this matter pass is all for your sake. It was from my mother that I learned Shinjin had always believed he was to marry me, never realizing he was meant for Jiang Yuyao. Had this incident not occurred, it is likely he would have discovered his mistake only on their wedding night. By the way, he feels too shy to see you. He has asked me to convey his thoughts. Since you owe him a favor, he suggests you repay him with your heart. What say you?" The 10th of the 3rd lunar month was a propitious day. The Duke's residence celebrated a double happiness. The eldest daughter wed the governor of Suzhou, a union that, while not allowing her to reside in the capital, promised the blessings of Suzhou's wealth and scenic beauty. The second daughter married the newly minted top scholar, a figure of remarkable stature and handsome visage, the dream of countless noble ladies in the capital. Regrettably, the scholar's heart was solely devoted to his charming cousin. On the day of the wedding, the scholar donned a splendid red bridal robe, riding a majestic steed, filled with joy. Even the usually composed Shinjin felt his face flush upon seeing the bride emerge. "Cousin, may I carry you to the carriage?" Beneath the red bridal veil, the second daughter softly acquiesced. The scholar's face lit up with delight. "Let us return to the residence with our bride." The end of the tale. Thank you for listening. We shall meet again in the next story.